Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be our superpower is the language we speak. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please subscribe. So, what is a superpower? A superpower is something that is unique to you, that you have. It's something that makes you you, that perhaps other individuals don't know you have or possess, but it's something that benefits you. It is something akin to resilience, commitment, strength, fortitude, dedication. For this video, it is post-narcissistic relationship. The language we speak is your superpower. It's absolutely incredibly true. Now, remember, this superpower, which means that you have the ability now to discern who individuals are because you have come through the narcissistic abusive cycle and or you are doing so now. This is something that you perhaps did not have before you went through the relationship. Maybe you went through the relationship with rose-tinted glasses on. Maybe what you were doing was being a people pleaser, the yes person. You didn't have boundaries. And then lo and behold, you met the narcissist and you were in that relationship, which was anything but stable. Then post-narcissistic relationship, you healed and or you are well on the healing path. You're putting yourself back together. You perhaps have reached that pinnacle of indifference, that mountaintop of indifference where you leave the narcissistic relationship in the past, you take the lessons learned from it, you live in the present moment, you do not predict the future because no one's guaranteed to be here in the future, and you now are self-aware. Now this superpower that you have, it is not only discernment, it is patience, it is practicing stoicism, radical acceptance, it's identifying toxic behaviors that perhaps you were a part of and or could be a part of in the future. It's looking around your social circle, your network of friends, and seeing if these people serve you or if they don't. Are they people who are trying to consume your energy and your time, i.e. perhaps a energy vampire? An example that I mention frequently would be somebody who contacts you or calls you up or texts you and says, hey, I just need a few minutes of your time. Can you make yourself available? And you're like, sure, sounds good. And then they talk to you for what they claimed would be 1 or 2 or 3, 4 or 5 minutes, and you're on the phone an hour and 45 minutes later. Now your day is disrupted. They have dumped all of their concerns and or issues on you. You find yourself now committing to plans or arrangements that benefit them in the future that you had no intention of attending. And now again, here you go. You go around on that loop of the energetic vampire. This now, when you understand that people on the planet, most people A, don't think like you, B, most people perhaps want to be you, and C, most people are envious and or jealous of you. In other words, they don't have your best interest at heart. And the narcissist certainly was one of those people. But when you identify that, now you put up boundaries. Now you aren't a people pleaser, etc. And your superpower is being able to harness your empathy, harness your time, harness your emotions against virtually the outside world. Now again, I'm not suggesting stay in your house and do nothing all day. That's the last thing I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting it depends where you are on the healing path. Did your relationship end yesterday? Did it end 2 years ago? Did it end 30 years ago? Who knows? The point being is you're on the channel getting the wisdom. You're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And let's focus on empathy for a minute. Empathy is a superpower, whether you know it or not. It's a superpower unto itself, which means if you are an empath or possess empathy, you're in rare air. You can put yourself in another individual's shoes. You can feel the pulse of a room just by walking into it. You can sense when someone is not feeling well or doing well just by looking at their expressions on their face. But what do? Do you ignore it? No, you pay attention to it. And in the past, perhaps what you would have done was comforted that person. You would have listened to them. You would have been their sounding board. But now again, post-narcissistic relationship, this is now a superpower, being able to discern who deserves your energy and or empathy and the other attributes that I mentioned. You have to figure out who deserves these things, these qualities that you have. Bear this in mind. When you're in the narcissistic relationship, the narcissist weaponized all of your abundance against you. Everything you possessed, time, money, energy, effort, resources. They wanted to take everything from you, and they accomplished that goal throughout the body of the relationship until A, either they discarded you, and if they did, my heart goes out to you, or B, you removed yourself from the relationship, and if you did, you're a very strong individual. Either way, the relationship ended, and it was not The relationship was not what you thought it was. It was a very challenging and trying relationship. But when you've healed and you actually have done the work, you've journaled, you've meditated, you've seen a therapist who, my hope is, unfortunately has gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle themselves. You've watched videos, perhaps you experienced the dark night of the soul, perhaps you had to heal childhood wounds, but you are in the cocoon of boundaries and you had to process a lot of things and weed out people that didn't serve you. When you do all those things and you come through the fire and rise through the ashes like a phoenix, this now becomes a superpower. Now, I've mentioned that word many times on the video so far because it's true. It's 100% real. You can't buy the education that you have acquired. You can't buy the wisdom that you've acquired throughout your life and or specifically the narcissistic abusive cycle. You can read it in a book. You can watch all the videos you want to, but if you haven't gone through the fire and healed properly, you can't speak the same language that I speak and that many of us in the community speak. You can get close to speaking it, but unless you've healed properly, you can't. Well, let me rephrase that. You can when you're going through it, post-narcissistic relationship, but you can speak at a higher level once you've gone through it. I needed to correct that. But the point is this, is many people think that they can speak the same language as you, meaning post-narcissistic relationship. And if they've gone through the fire, I'm sure they can. If they haven't, you'll be able to figure it out rather quickly, because you can just, if you meet a post-narcissistic relationship individual who has done the work and the healing, you can identify rather quickly exactly who they are. And you can say, well, yes, this person's been through some things, because you can tell, you can sense it, you can feel it, you can see it. And again, this wisdom, you can't pay for it in a university. You can't take an online course and understand it. You can process it, but you won't be able to wrap your head around it unless you experience it firsthand. That's why this is a superpower once you come through the narcissistic relationship. It really is. And now, many people, they say to themselves, why? How did I get in the relationship? I'm a smart individual. I have so much going for me, and I had so much going for me. How did I fall for the narcissist? I will tell you how. You weren't taught Narcissism 101 in school. You weren't aware that there were actually individuals out there that did not have your best interest at heart. You did not know that everything wasn't as it appeared to be. Now you do. Now you're understanding through my channel that, wow, there are a lot of people around me in the past, present, and hopefully not in the future that don't have my best interest at heart. And they will try to steer me the direction they want to steer me to get what they want from me. Again, perhaps it is your time, money, energy, effort, everything I mentioned. But many people want something from you and they don't want to give you anything in return. That is the narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. The narcissist wants to take, take, take. They don't want to give you anything other than empty promises and future faking and saying that, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'll improve. Let's do this. And then, of course, the poor behavior goes on and on and on. This is why your discernment is imperative. This is why your patience and practicing stoicism and radical acceptance is imperative. This is why drowning out the noise. This is why shortening your social circle and or network of friends is instrumental. Because when you do the heavy lifting and the hard work post-narcissistic relationship, you'll identify not only the narcissist, but many people around you, maybe even family members or past friends or members of communities or organizations who didn't and or don't serve you. They are just saying things, they're giving you lip service, but their words don't match up with their actions. Remember, actions speak louder than words. We learned that lesson in the narcissistic relationship. The narcissist would tell you A, B, and C, and they would do X, Y, and Z, and then they would give you a little breadcrumb of hope or of the euphoric stage, and you would fall right back into line, and the circle would go on and on and on. It is not until you get the wisdom, which again is priceless, and this superpower is priceless, and I'll explain why it is also. It's not until you get the wisdom, though, that you understand, wow, I was really manipulated. I was really taken advantage of. I did not know what I was up against, but now I do. Now I understand exactly what humankind is capable of, and it's not all kumbaya. It's not all puppies and rainbows. It's really not. There is evil that walks this planet. There are people that don't have your best interest at heart, and some of those people will let you know. Many of them won't. And what will they do? They'll wear a mask, i.e. the narcissist, and they will approach you acting like they are somebody who they're not. And what is that essentially? Let's go back to Greek mythology. Well, or Roman mythology, the Trojan horse. Remember that one? Think about it. The Trojan horse was rolled into the gates as a gift, And boom, within the Trojan horse were all these warriors and soldiers, and they took down the city. That is what a narcissist does. Think about what I'm sharing with you. They act like there's something when there's somebody different. Now, it's not always that way. Many narcissists are right out in the open and they just let you know how they are. But for this video and for my channel, it's usually the mask that the narcissist wears. But understand this. When you put all these things together and you understand that you're a very unique individual, you are a rare individual, you're beautiful, you're blessed, you're abundant, you have a lot going for you, specifically post-narcissistic relationship. If nobody ever told you that, I'm telling you that right now. And I'll tell you why. Number one, because you made it this far in the video. But number two, the narcissist saw something in you. They saw value. They saw abundance. They saw beauty. They saw positive energy. And they knew what you had way before you knew what you had. Think about it. They really did. Now you may say, well, no, Andrew, I knew I had A, B, and C. I'm sure you did. But then why did you fall in the narcissistic relationship? How did you get entrapped in it? Because you didn't know your value. Now you do. I hope you're following this. So why is the wisdom priceless? And why is going through the narcissistic relationship something that you had to go through? I'll tell you why. The wisdom is priceless, again, because you can't take it. You can't take an online course and learn about it. You have to go through this. You have to go through a relationship or relationships that you weren't prepared for, that you didn't even know these types of relationships existed. That's number one. And number two is why did you meet the narcissist, and or how did you fall into the relationship? It was part of your life learning experience. You had to go through it. There was no other way. You could think whatever you want to. You could think, wow, if I only took that left turn instead of a right, I wouldn't have met the narcissist. You would have met the narcissist eventually, I can assure you. There was no other way around it. You had to go through that relationship to get to where you are right now. And when you were putting yourself back together and when you were in the relationship, you experienced many, many challenging evenings, sleepless nights, you lost weight, your social circle blew up, you were being ghosted, you were being invalidated, you were being treated less than, you were being devalued, your bank account was going to zero, you were being gaslit, stonewalled, you endured the smear campaign, the silent treatment, you experienced rage fits, you experienced blame shifting, you experienced inaccountability, or the lack of the ability to introspect on the narcissist's behalf. And yet what did you do? You stayed in the relationship because you didn't know any better. What you thought was this individual would change. The narcissist can't change. The only thing that changes is the mask they wear to manipulate another unsuspecting individual after your relationship has ended. Keep that in mind. Side note for the Hoover, remember, for you newbies out there, a Hoover is when the narcissist is trying to draw you back into the relationship under the guise that they have changed, that they have seen a therapist, that they do miss you, that you are the love of their life, that they just want one more chance, that they can rebuild, that they miss you, all these things. None of those are true. Do not accept a Hoover. Do not communicate with the narcissist. If you have the ability to go no contact, block them, remove them, delete all flying monkeys and people associated with them, I suggest you do so. If you can't, perhaps you share children with the narcissist, or they are currently a neighbor or a roommate, or you're looking to get divorced, whatever, practice gray rock. Remember, the less information you share with the narcissist, the better off you are. That is lesson number one to understand. But again, going down that path is for a whole different video. So the language you speak, it's a superpower. It really is. Many times I have one-on-one sessions with individuals and I can pick up within a few seconds where they are on the healing path. Yes, it's true. It's a fact. You will get there too. Once you understand and process your relationship and you come through the fire, you'll be able to do it. At least that's my hope. But the point is, people need to understand that these relationships, they don't serve you, and that anybody coming into your relationship or a relationship with you, using the Trojan horse analogy, this is not good. People will always be looking to serve themselves ahead of you. Not everybody, but a lot of people are self-serving individuals on the planet. We're getting that message out. We're understanding it. But speaking the superpower, speaking the language, the superpower that you have, it's a fact. It's 100% real, because you're now changed forever. The narcissistic relationship, you are in the third version of yourself. Now you are changed forever. You are galvanized. You are transformed. Remember, there are three versions of you. The version of you before you met the narcissist, the version of you in the narcissistic relationship, and the third version of you, which is the version of you when you've healed and or are out of the narcissistic relationship on the healing path headed towards the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. That's where all the abundance happens. That's where the growth happens. That is called entering the unknown, the beauty, the abundance. The doors will open, the vibration will be higher, everything will be good for you. Again, you have to do the work. You have to process things, as I mentioned earlier in the video. But the language we speak is a superpower. It completely is. And if you've resonated with this video and you know what I'm talking about, please drop comments below. Share with the newbies on the channel that things do get better, things do improve. It will take time. It will take a mountain of work, but in time, in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that I'm giving you on the channel. Nothing happens overnight, but my hope is you're taking small incremental steps to benefit you. Drown out the narcissist, believe that they didn't have your best interest at heart, because they don't, and that understand you are the priority. Get the message. This language that we speak, it sincerely is a superpower. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. No matter where you are on the healing path, understand each and every day is a unique day. It's a unique opportunity to learn, to grow, and to teach if you can. It's an opportunity to better your life and to move forward. And it's also an opportunity to pay it forward. So if you've come through the fire, please help the newbies out. If you are a newbie, stay focused on yourself. Understand that this is a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that, you are not alone. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye guys.